Okay, so buy-to-let investing. In this video, I'm going to go in depth to buy-to-let investing. Just to keep it really simple, buy-to-let is a type of mortgage you can get on a property. So when you're getting a mortgage on a property, you can get a residential mortgage or you can get a buy-to-let mortgage. Now, the difference between the two is residential is a mortgage on a property that you're actually going to live in. If you're going to get a buy-to-let mortgage, that's when you're getting a property and you're planning on renting it out to tenants. So that's the difference in a nutshell. So the two main differences are the amount of deposits that you have to put down. So with residential, you have to put down, say, a 5 or 10% or 15% deposit. But with buy-to-let, it starts around 20%. So 20, 25% for buy-to-let, and then 5, 10, 15% with residential. So it's a lot cheaper to buy a house on a residential mortgage, but obviously, if you're planning on renting it out, then you should get a buy-to-let mortgage. Deposit-wise, as I said, we're looking around 25% deposit on average. So buy-to-lets, this is a business model which so many people have used. So just to talk you through an average case buy-to-let, you buy a property for £100,000 and you get a tenant in there that pays you £600 per month, but your mortgage payment is only £200 a month. That leaves you with £400 profit per month. Now imagine, you might think, okay, £400 a month, that's all right, but you know, my job pays me £2,000 a month. But guess what? If you have 10 of these, you're now getting £4,000 a month. So just do the maths, guys, and you'll see that buy-to-let investing is definitely a very profitable way to do things. When I compare it to rent, lease options, and all different types of things, I think buy-to-let is simple, it's straightforward, it's profitable, and it's an easy way to make money. The hardest thing about it is getting the initial deposits and actually parking them into these properties. So I talk a lot about the buy, refurbish, refinance method that I use. On all of these deals, I'm doing them on buy-to-let mortgages. If I can't get a buy-to-let mortgage, then I will get a bridge on the property. For example, if it had lots of damp issues, or if it was the lenders just would not lend on it, if its EPC rating was too low, if it had damp problems, then I might have to go and get a bridge. So that's something called bridging finance, but I will make another video on that. So if I can't get the buy-to-let mortgage, I'll get bridging finance. But then once I've done up the property, once I've refurbished it, I'll then put it onto a buy-to-let mortgage. So buy-to-let mortgages are something what I use a lot. It's a massive part of the BRRRR method and basically the whole property game for myself. Now, one thing you do need to remember is tax. You are going to have to pay tax on any property income you receive. Now, what you need to do, don't take tax advice from me, don't take tax advice from Jerry down the street, and don't take tax advice from Jimmy or Smithy or David, okay? Do not listen to anyone when it comes to tax. You need to speak to an accountant, all right? And they will give you the full breakdown of what it's gonna cost you to run this property. That's what I'd recommend. Just stop listening to everyone giving you tax advice and just speak to your accountant. If you don't have an accountant, then I'd advise you find a reasonable priced accountant. Another thing you're gonna need to do is have a really good mortgage broker, because just to put it into perspective for you, when you're getting a buy-to-let mortgage, there's so many different lenders you can actually go with. What you need is a broker. Now, the broker's gonna find you the best deal. So he's gonna look through all the lenders and see, right, who's offering the best rate for yourself, because each person is different. I might be eligible for a really good mortgage product on, say, a 2.6% interest rate with no early repayment charges. So if I wanna change mortgage product, I don't have to pay any exit fees. But Jim down the street, he might not be eligible for that same deal, but he might be eligible for a different deal that's even better. So what you need to do is get a really good broker that will actually assist you in finding the best mortgage product available for yourself. This is super important, guys. So the accountant, the mortgage broker, and then the third thing is finding the deal. This is another crucial step. I do have a video about finding property deals. This applies to buy-to-lets 100%, so check out that video. And I'm gonna be going more in depth into this type of thing as well. So finding the right buy-to-let property deal, this is super important, because for example, you might have found a big, nice house in Nottingham, for example, and it might cost you 350K, but you might only be able to get £800 in rent. But the mortgage for that property might be £800. Therefore, you're only left with £50 profit per month. That is not a viable buy-to-let deal, and you probably will struggle to get lending on that. So you need to think, buy low and rent high. This is just fundamentals of property investing. And these are things what we need to get really dialed in on and understand. You need to buy something low that rents out high. When I'm buying buy-to-let investments, the first thing I'm looking at, my main criteria is cash flow. What is the profit I can make per month? Me personally, I'm only looking to do a deal if I can make £1,000 per month profit off that one property. I know that's a big ask, but that's my criteria. So set your standards high, shop around, and when you're finding the deal, make sure you're looking at 30, 40, 50 properties before you buy that one deal. Financing your buy-to-lets, this is another aspect to it. Are you going to use your own funds? Are you going to work with investors? Are you going to do joint ventures with people? For example, someone might live in Dubai, in London, they might have loads of money sitting in the bank that's earning them a rubbish return. They want to invest in property, they approach you, and you can potentially do a deal with them, do a joint venture with them, and you're both making money. So that's another thing you can do. Okay, so how do you actually get a buy-to-let mortgage? So as I said, the first thing you need to do is speak with your mortgage broker. Now, if you want to find a really good mortgage broker, you're going to need to Google it, because I can't give out my broker's number, unfortunately. So you're going to need to Google that, try and shop around and find a good broker. Now, when you're finding a mortgage broker, just remember one thing. He or she needs to have access to the full panel of lenders, not just the main high street lenders. They need to have access to the full panel of lenders, because that's going to give you more options. And you know what we say, the more options, the better, right? So get you a good broker, speak to them and say to them, listen, I've got X amount saved up. This is what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to purchase a house for this price. Would this be okay? Am I eligible for a buy-to-let mortgage? He or she will tell you if you are, yes or no, and what type of properties you should be looking at. So as soon as you've done that, then you need to find the deal. Once you found the deal, you speak to your broker again and say, hi, I found this property deal. I want to go ahead with it. You send your broker the proof of funds, send the agent the proof of funds. If it's direct to landlord, send the landlord or the seller the proof of funds as well. You need to show everyone that you're super serious and you're ready to move on your buy-to-let mortgage. Buy-to-let mortgages usually take around 3 months to complete, from the moment you find the house to the moment you get the keys. You usually take around 3 months. If it's a bit more complicated, for example, if there's multiple people involved in the transaction, or if the seller has something called a chain, which is where they need to sell their house before they can complete and sell you their house, then that's called a chain. So that's a bit more complicated, and it can take a long time to actually get the keys for the property. So it can take, say, 5-6 months to get the keys. So that's something to bear in mind. So ideally, when you're buying a property from an agent or from direct to landlord, ideally there's no chain, and it should take you around 3 or 4 months to get the keys. So remember guys, 20 to 25% deposit. Eligibility is another massive aspect. You need to make sure you're eligible for a buy-to-let mortgage. The best people to speak to regarding that is your broker. So your mortgage broker, they'll be able to advise you if you are eligible for a buy-to-let mortgage. I believe the main things are you have to be over 21, although there is some buy-to-let lenders which will actually lend to people that are younger than 21. So if someone's like 19 or 20, but they've got the money and they have good credit and they have proof of funds, so they can prove where the money's came from a job or from a business that they own, then yeah, there is a few lenders that will do less than 21. I believe Kent Reliance may be one of them. Land Bay, I think, might do it as well. But your broker will be able to find out this information for you. So eligibility, you need to have good credit. This applies for a residential mortgage or a buy-to-let mortgage. You need to have a job, and the minimum income requirement is usually around £25,000. But again, there is lenders that have no minimum income requirements. So again, your broker will be able to let you know about that. So good credit, this is a must. If you do have a credit default, there is, again, some lenders. In general, the main criteria is your age. You have to be over 21. You need to have really good credit, and you need to have proof of funds. So you need to have a good job that pays you regular income, so the banks have no problem lending to you, because they think, okay, if the tenants don't pay, how are you going to afford to pay this mortgage? That's what they're looking at. So they're looking at your income. How much do you earn? Are you running a business? Are you working for a stable job? For example, if you're working for, say, Apple, and they're paying you 30 grand a year and you have a contract, that's going to put you in a great position in terms of getting a buy-to-let mortgage, because they'll say, okay, he's got a 1-year contract, he's getting paid 30 grand a year, he's safe. He or she is safe. Then yeah, you should have no problem. Yeah, the main aspects is your age, credit score, how much you're earning, and then the right property deal. So these are the 4 main elements. Guys, I hope that's helped. Stay tuned for some more videos. If you enjoyed the vid, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Excuse me, am I going to get a ticket for this?
Not if you move now.
Okay, how long do I have roughly?
You don't.
Whoa. Now that, I do need to move.